Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for giving me this topic. I have the privilege and joy to be co-EIC for our Society Journal with Alex, whom you just have heard. And I want to tell you a little bit about how we handle our submissions. So this is to answer all your questions about what is happening behind the door once you submit a paper. I just want to say at the outset, one of our characterizing issues of the journal, which we want to communicate and live, is that we want you to feel that we are at your service and you are not at our mercy. Different journals position themselves different along this axis, and we expend a lot of effort to help you and facilitate you and not to hinder you. So those are the four axes which I want to discuss. The first is user-friendly submission. Actually, with submission, we're completely aligning with the ScholarOne system of OUP that at least our journal and bioinformatics, and I think many other journals are also using. And so if you have issues with the system, please let us know. It is a big thing, and changes there have to be configured and are sometimes difficult to do, but please give us all your issues and we will communicate them and try to make sure that your issues are taken seriously. The second one is personalized and transparent dialogue. We have a four-step review process. Once you submit your journal, your paper to our journal, it goes to a senior editor. We have another senior editor beside Alex and me, that's Aida Uangaua, since the beginning of this year. And one of the three of us will handle your paper and will decide whether it is worth processing or whether it needs to go to review. There are papers that we will reject at this stage because we just feel that they're either not in the scope of the journal or they're just underpowered in any kind of issue. That happens not all that often. We may also decide that your paper is so great that nobody needs to look at it and we'll accept it right away. That happens almost never. Okay. So the usual case is that we give the paper then to an associate editor who will handle reviewing, send it out to reviewers, get the reviews back, make a recommendation, and word this recommendation. And that recommendation then goes back to the senior editor who makes the final decision. We often go in a dialogue between the associate editor and the senior editor to craft a very personalized message to you. So then when your paper gets rejected or there is a major revision, you can expect to get a very thorough argumentation for why that happens. And in both cases, also in the case of rejection, an argumentation that helps you to improve the paper. Thorough and fair review. We know that soliciting reviews is becoming increasingly difficult. Our goal, our target is to have 3 reviews for each paper. If you have submitted, you may have got only 2 reviews. This is sort of the breakup. We get 3 reviews for about half of the papers. That's the green pie chart part. Red are 2 reviews. And then we have, for very few papers, we have just 1 review. We really don't want that to happen, but in rare cases, we cannot avoid it. But there are also sometimes more than 4 reviews, more than 3 reviews. Actually, we'll have sometimes 5 reviews. Now, how is that? If you have an ISMB paper that got marginally rejected and you accepted transferring it to our journal, it may have 5 reviews. And these reviews go to our journal, and we're asking all reviewers to look at your revision. And in good cases, they all answer. And that's why you sometimes get a lot of reviews. So how do we get these reviews? Well, we invite reviewers. And this is our histogram of how many reviewers we have to invite in order to get reviews for your paper. And you see sometimes we have to invite exceedingly many reviewers. So if you're a if you have been asked to review a paper for our journal, please be aware that this is the curve and that you help us tremendously by cutting that curve so that we don't have to invite 60 reviewers in order to get 2 or 3 reviews. I think this is something that we just made the statistic for our journal, but I don't think that we're very particular there. We may be particular in soliciting so many reviews, and as a matter of fact, in the future, we'll probably do the following thing. If we need more than 24 invitations to get reviews, we will reject your paper and ask you whether you think this is really interesting. Sometimes it's just language. Sometimes your title is just so bad that nobody wants to read the paper, but the paper is good, right? But we'll give you this kind of coaching. So speedy processing, Alex already mentioned it. We have an average time to publication of about 3 months, average time to first decision of about 30 days. So that means 2/3 of that 3 months is in revision. That's you, okay? So you are the major factor of extending publication and taking your time for revision. I don't insinuate that you should do faster because we want good work and not fast work, but I just want you to be aware of that. We have a transfer process. The most effective transfer process that we have is from bioinformatics and from ISMB. And it's effective because we reuse the reviews from bioinformatics or from ISMB if there are any, and that speeds up processing tremendously. So if you're rejected by ISMB or by bioinformatics, seriously consider going to us. It saves 1 round of reviewing if you do that. We have reviews transfer from other journals, but the process is not configured, streamlined well enough to get these reviews. The most well-streamlined processes are with bioinformatics and ISMB. If you have a paper that is marginally rejected from ISMB and we publish it, we will not flag it as an ISMB paper because that gives indirectly the message that you didn't make it to ISMB, which I think is not in your favor. So it'll be a normal paper of the conference. Same with bioinformatics. We won't tell that this came from bioinformatics. It happens that papers that get rejected from bioinformatics and transferred to our journal actually appear before the conference. But that only happens if you really submit your paper to us very quickly. This year we have given out 19 offers to our journal for papers that got rejected by ISMB. So far I've only 5 submissions. So if there are those of you in the room that are among those 19 and haven't submitted yet, please seriously consider submitting your paper to us. So the challenge is, how could we attract more reviewers? Well, first of all, we're friendly people. Maybe you like to review for a friendly journal. That would help. The other thing is that you can register your review with Publons. That's a site where you can register the reviews that you have, get some acknowledgement. And we actually are pondering open access rebates for repeated reviewing. We're pondering, so we don't really know how to do that yet. So don't expect that tomorrow, but we have the decided attitude that we want to make this work. There are many hurdles for this, but just to tell you that we have this idea. Keeping processing times low, so processing times have been increasing slightly over the past year or so, and so we sort of shortened the leash for all of us. We installed a rigid monitoring process where we monitor each other to be quick and effective. And we also engage in personal dialogues with the reviewers if they have problems with returning the reviews. And I already mentioned the transparent dialogue. We really want to answer you personally. And there is a 4 eyes principle. 2 eyes belong to the associate editor and 2 eyes to the senior editor. And we come together in order to give you the best answers, the most plausible answers for our decisions than you can expect. So if you have any issues, please come to us and let us know, and we'll try to make things even better. Thank you.